Welcome back, everyone. And let me just take a minute to say hello and thank you to everyone who is following me on the show. Thank you, Harold. Colin is on. And who else? And okay. All right. Well, everybody else there, I'm not seeing everyone. Thank you, Ron, for following us, and Karen and Georgia and all right. Now, on our next segment, we are focusing on the family units. How our individual designs play a role in our family. Yes, because everybody wants to get along with their family. Doug, how does that work?
Well, in our world, in our culture, we tend to think that unity comes through sameness. That we hang out with people that we think have the same perspectives that we do. But the reality is fulfillment and unity doesn't come through sameness. True fulfillment and unity comes through diversity with understanding.
I see, yes.
Diversity with understanding. And so when we can actually understand other people's differences and appreciate them and know how people are different than us, how that's a good thing, and then draw out those differences and use them to make the relationship stronger, it makes all of our relationships better, especially if you're in a relationship, if you're married or have a significant other.
That's really very interesting because, again, okay, so everybody, and this is also with government and such, they want everyone to be the same. Whereas, like you are saying, that if diversity, which is uniqueness in everyone, is more acknowledged or more understood, there is more unity. And look at the world today. What is it going on? The people who are different are not accepted. That's why we have all the strife in the world, I think, Tom. What do you think?
I think that each person has their own set of glasses and their own set of hearing aids. And they hear things the way that they're designed, they hear things the way that they are accustomed to hear things, and they see things the way that they're accustomed to see things. But they don't realize that every single person has their own set of lenses and their own set of hearing aids that hear things differently.
How interesting.
So that's what creates problems, is that people can look at the same situation, but they see it completely different, and they hear phrases and they hear words differently.
Right.
And when you don't understand how people hear, it creates tension, because people don't feel understood.
Yes, because if people doesn't understand what's going on, they tend to not like it. And so that is what is going on. That is why not everyone is understanding each other, not everyone is loving each other, because they think since someone is different, then they should not be loved or something like that. Because from my experience, from growing up, really, I felt like the outsider in the group. I felt like I don't belong somehow. So I grew up to be able to take care of myself. I grew up to be self-sufficient and all that things, and all that. But nowadays, if you are different, that's when kids are bullied because they're different. And people, or even, what do you call this? Even groups of people, like, let's say we are Filipinos, right? And we are Ilocanos, and we are taken differently than the other people. So this should not be the case. Everybody should understand each other. That's what you're trying to say, right? So if we understand each other, and we
So if you're a parent, parents tend to have a perspective of the way their kids should be.
Right.
And obviously there's some parts that are important because you need to follow certain rules. But so many times we overlay not just what the rules are, but how they think you should have to live those out. And it creates, and in a marriage relationship, or a relationship with a significant other, these differences in hearing and understanding create tension,
Yes.
which create issues. And so what
Right.
ends up happening is people will take those issues and they'll go to a therapist,
Yes.
and the therapist will get the people talking about the issues.
Uh-huh.
And so that the next time that issue comes up, they'll have a way to resolve that issue.
Right.
But the problem isn't the issue. The problem was understanding what caused the issue in the first place.
Right.
And so what a lot of times traditional therapy will talk about helping to understand what people say and what people mean. What we do is we go beyond helping people understand what people say and what people mean to actually understanding who people are.
That's
And
right.
when I understand who you are and how you're really different according to who you are, and you understanding how I'm different according to who I am, and then I can actually help you become who you are, and you can help me become who I am, and we're working together, and we learn each other's language in a different way, and it's much more complete than just a simple like love languages type of a thing.
That's
It goes
right.
deeper, and it makes the whole relationship much more fulfilling, and it resolves a lot of problems that don't even come up when you understand each other.
Wow. See, people, it is more deeper than just what meets the eye. Yes. So in order, let's say, I love you unconditionally, but do you really mean that if you do not understand that person? So in order for us to love unconditionally, we must understand that person totally. Yes.
Totally, that's the word,
Yes,
totally, because we think we understand the other person, but we think we understand them because we understand them according to our own lens.
Yes.
But when we understand that there's so much more to the person,
Yeah.
it changes everything.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me ask you, what would comprise a total person? What would it be? Their upbringing, their culture, their parents' cultural background, or the way they are raised and
That's
the
a
environment?
great question, Lisette. So if you put down at the core of the core, you have this unique design that's amazing, and there are
Yes.
no bad designs.
Yes.
All designs are amazing when they start, but then and I could do assessments on 1,000 different people, and I wouldn't be able to tell where people were raised. I wouldn't be able to tell what their gender is just based on those. But you're going to take on top of that, you're going to put your gender on top of that design.
That's right.
And
Yes.
so, because men and women are different, they think
Yeah,
different.
absolutely.
Now
yeah.
that has nothing to do with your what we did measure, because we're measuring underneath that.
Oh.
But then you're also going to take your family system and you're going to put that on top of it, because that's going to affect the family you're raised in is going to affect how you think.
Absolutely.
Also what we call your tribe, whether you're what generation you come from, whether you're a traditionalist or a millennial,
Yes.
or a boomer or a buster, they affect how you think and how you that overlays your true design. And then your beliefs. A lot of people have religious beliefs or different hardcore convictions that affect because they've encountered other experiences that they've attached values and beliefs to, and those will go on top of and their true design, and they make it very confusing because when they're trying to figure out who they are, but they can't cut through all of these other things to really
Right.
know who
Yes.
they really are.
Uh-huh.
And so that's what we help do is we get through to the bottom of the bottom. And when people discover it, it's very, very liberating. And what happens in a relationship, it's really huge because I was married for 20 years before I went through this. I've been married 25 years. And I didn't really know my wife. I thought I did. But it was once I really started to really, really understand her, that's when our marriage started to get really, really good.
Wow. See, that's awesome, you guys. If you really know the total person, you are going to be really in themselves deeply. I like that. But then again, it's going to take a while. Oh, let me tell you this too. I got married and I thought I knew this man. I was married for him for so long. But in the end, I didn't really know the total himself, because that was the reason why we got divorced. But then again, because here's me, I'm always this giving person, so I just accepted him as he was, even if we were divorced. This is what I think, Dog. Once you love someone, you will always have that feeling about them. That's how I feel about this man that I loved. And I can say there's two real long relationship I had, and of course I had other relationships. But see, you cannot really tell someone that you really love them if you don't really know them. That is, but then again, if you are this unconditional person, you can just say, "Oh, I love you unconditionally," but do you really mean that? That's the question.
See, and true love is really not about getting; it's about giving.
Yes.
And how a relationship works is when two people make that a point, that they make it about giving to the other person.
You're more giving than taking.
And what love is connected to, again, is understanding. Because the best thing that, I mean, you mentioned that you didn't know your husband as well, or you thought. My guess would be that you probably knew him better than he knew you. He probably didn't know really what was most important to you either.
Yeah.
And so it's when two people start to really commit to understanding each other and helping them be who they're created to be, that's when the relationship really starts to solidify and bond. And regardless of how different a person is, all relationships can either be conflict or repel, or they can
get
complement.
closer.
And complement. And so what this does is that we help people understand how their relationship was designed to complement each other, not be in conflict.
Wow, that's really awesome. And guys, wait for the next segment. This is getting more interesting because now we talked about the individuals and the family and all that. And the next segment is going to be how you fit in your community, how you can maximize yourself so you can do your purpose and be content and live happily ever after with the job you have, or maybe you need to change. So thank you again for this segment. Stay tuned. We have more to come. And my loved ones out there, mi amores, ciao, hasta luego.
Are you at a